and welcome to the Michael J. Rinder Aftermath Foundation, our very first live and the start of our new series, The Foundation Feed. I'm joined today by Phil Jones. Phil, thank you so much for being here. It's awesome.
Oh, it's awesome to be here. Thanks, Claire.
Yes, and we announced just recently on social media, Bruce Hines has been serving as the executive director of the Aftermath Foundation for the last 2 years. He has now retired, and Phil has very graciously and wonderfully agreed to fill Bruce's role. So welcome, Phil, to the team. It is amazing to be working with you. I know we're going to accomplish amazing things with your help.
Yeah, well, I think we can definitely do a lot together. I do have some big boots to fill. Bruce is very well liked and very capable, so I'll try to live up to that.
Yes, of course. And for people tuning in, thank you so much for being here. As we mentioned in our announcement, the idea of this series is to really cover many different topics relating to the work that the foundation does, the many different programs that we now have, the people that we help. Of course, anyone we help is remains anonymous unless they choose to speak out. That's just many times people just getting out of Scientology have a lot bigger things to worry about than fair game from Scientology for speaking out. So it takes time to process in a lot of cases. And so that's why we adopted the policy of anonymity until a person chooses otherwise. And I think that just makes sense and provides a safety and security blanket that is very well needed.
I agree. I know that when my wife and I got out first, it took a while for us to kind of get our feet under us and settle out enough before we actually were willing to speak out and to kind of come out publicly. So, and we were public Scientologists. We weren't staff. I know that for staff, it's probably even more difficult. And we were kind of fringe a little bit anyway. So when we got out, we were able to speak out and willing to speak out. We understand the whole pushback from Scientology with their fair game. We experienced plenty of it. So from their
Yes.
attorneys, from their hate sites, and all down the line. So
Yes.
definitely it can be intimidating, but and it's appreciated for those who do speak out, but totally understandable for those who don't.
Yes, completely. For sure. And so I figured that we would start with, of course, introducing you, Phil, as the executive director. For anyone who doesn't know, my name is Claire Headley. I was born and raised in Scientology. I escaped when I was 30 years old. And since then, so for the last 20 years, I've been helping people escape, advocating for victims, speaking out as a whistleblower. And both Mark and I are founding members of the Aftermath Foundation. The history of the Aftermath Foundation is that so in 2016, Leah Remini's Scientology in the Aftermath launched its first season, hosted by, of course, Leah and Mike Rinder. And there were 3 seasons. If you haven't watched those, to anyone listening, I strongly recommend you do that. It's just an amazing series that really explains so much of the abusive history and practices of Scientology, highlights individual stories, and so forth. And the result of that show was such an incredible outpouring of support that the Aftermath Foundation was formed. And as I mentioned, Mark and I have been on the board as founding members of the board since it was created in December 2017. And since June 2023, I now serve as the board president. We have an amazing board of volunteers. And as part of this series, we will do a whole Meet the Board series to introduce each individual member. They can talk about their respective roles and what brought them to accept this volunteer role on this board and the work that we do. So, and for most people likely know, but just to cover it here newly, of course, in January of this year, Mike Rinder passed away after a courageous battle with cancer. At that point, we decided to rename the foundation in Mike's honor. And Leah Remini on her Substack posted, I think, the best summary of what led up to that decision. So I'm just going to share that here. In fact, hold on, we have slides. So let me pull that up here. Here we go. It is, sorry. We are getting there.
We would also encourage active Scientologists or even OSA people to watch Leah Remini's Aftermath show.
Yes.
Lots to be learned in there.
Very definitely, for sure. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this up here. All right, here we go. Back on track. Leah said, in early January, I was on a plane to Florida with Claire to see our friend Mike Rinder in what ended up being his final days. I brought up an idea. Would the board of the Aftermath Foundation consider renaming the organization in Mike's honor? The Aftermath Foundation is a nonprofit organization with the mission of helping those who want to leave Scientology and the Sea Org, but lack a system of support they can rely on while getting on their feet in the outside world. The Aftermath Foundation was inspired by our A&E documentary series and those who were brave enough to tell us their stories. But the truth is, without Mike's position in Scientology and his fearless fight to expose them after he escaped, there would have been no Aftermath series, no movement like this at all. Many of our courageous contributors asked to share their stories, largely due to Mike's position in Scientology and his unwavering courage. Before I could even finish my thought, Claire said tearfully, which I did, yes, let me take it to the board. Within 24 hours, the board unanimously agreed. The Aftermath Foundation is now named the Michael J. Rinder Aftermath Foundation. And again, just I think that gives a really good summary of the creation of the Aftermath Foundation, the work that we do, and the reason we chose to rename the foundation in Mike's honor. So let me go back here. There we go. Anyway, and so yeah, we today we will be going through a few different recent activities, and then in follow-up episodes, we'll do deep dives on a number of different topics. If there's something you're specifically interested in hearing about, please do comment on this video. Phil and I will be more than happy to take into consideration topics of interest to you all. So does that cover it, Phil? Anything you want to add?
No, you covered it really well. It's always touching when I hear that story.
Yeah.
And I think it was exactly the right thing to do, for Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. His story is, it's pretty unique in the world of former Scientologists, both because of the level he rose to in Scientology, but then also his bravery and courage when he left, knowing full well exactly the treatment he would receive. So
and he would know what was coming all the time, and
yeah.
to still stand up knowing that it's not so easy.
No.
And we owe him a lot for that.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Let's take a minute while we're going here, and we'll just welcome a few people. I asked people to comment on where they're joining from. That's always a good way to kind of get some see who's coming. And obviously Phil and I are doing this also to welcome in a community of people that support the work that we do, so we can keep talking about it, keep sharing stories, keep talking about the programs that we have now, and many other topics. So here we go. I'll put up a few comments. Claudia says hi from Rio, Brazil.
Wow.
Yep. Then we have Katie from Ireland.
Yep.
Patrina, Reading, UK. Awesome. Thanks for being here. And Jamie, Aftermath volunteer from Southern Utah, checking in. Thank you, Jamie. That's awesome. We'll be talking about that later too, but we appreciate you signing up as a volunteer. Thank you. Let's see. Gretchen, Philly. Good afternoon, folks. Techie from Nebraska.
There you go.
Awesome. Mary Kay London, good afternoon from Albuquerque.
Oh, it must be hot there today.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty hot here in Colorado. Not as hot as Albuquerque, though. Scooby Doo Osa, Scooby Dooza. Hi from South Africa. And we have live from Missouri. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Oh, here we go. John Page. Hi, Claire. And hello, Phil. Brighton, UK here. John, Oliver, and Barney. Awesome. Cool. Oh, we have a few more here. I didn't scroll down far enough. Joseph. Hi from Speedway, Indiana. Nice. You want to read a few, Phil, so I'm not doing all the speaking?
I can. I have on my laptop here, so I'm
Oh,
going to
it's okay.
I won't be able to pop them up there, but I can read them if
Yeah,
you
no,
pop them up.
yeah, I could do that.
If you pop them up, I'll read them.
Perfect.
We have Barbara from West New York. Is that West New York? WNY?
I think so. I think so. Yep.
Welcome, Barbara. And M from Washington State.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Yep.
Jack Shaw from Henderson, Nevada. I used to live in Henderson, Nevada.
Nice. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Those days, the hot,
Yeah.
oh man, the summer. And I remember days where it didn't go below 100 for a month or two almost.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Yeah. Glenda Stevenson from Washington State. Welcome.
Nice.
Nancy Jane from Las Vegas, Nevada. Another Las Vegas person. Hi.
Yep. We got a couple more here.
Belgium. Ah.
That's awesome.
Femkavicki. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Belgium.
As well, that's how I would have said it, which I'm not famous for my pronunciations, but that's okay.
Gail Sinatra from New York. Welcome.
Awesome. All right, there we go. Anyway, thank you again for everyone joining us. We're very excited for this new series, the Foundation Feed, and we will be talking all things relating to the Michael J. Rinder Aftermath Foundation. So let's see here. Moving along. So I think that to introduce the next topic, let me just find my note here. To introduce the next topic, we wanted to talk about some of what's been happening with the billboards. We'll do a dedicated episode, I think. Phil and I will talk about this.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's relevant to mention that, Phil, you have been heading up the Billboard program for the last year very successfully, which, of course, then made tremendous sense for you to move into this role. But where would you like to start on this? And just let me know when you're ready, and I can pull up the slide that we have on this too.
I'm ready if you want to get started on
Perfect.
that.
Okay,
Yep.
let's do that. So there we go. All right.
So this is our current Billboard campaign. We did give an attempt at this a year ago. Scientology sort of jumped in, as they often do, and kind of gave us a little more difficulty, but we were able to get a campaign going with a Billboard media company that I had dealt with back in 2016 when we were doing the Call Me billboards. So I had some experience and I knew the people down there. So we were able to get a campaign going. We initially started with 20 billboards for the first month and then settled into 10 billboards in and around the Scientology buildings in Los Angeles. And they'll remain up there as long as we can keep them up there. I mean, there is a cost to it, but it's worth it because this gives like a channel for people wanting to escape Scientology, and sometimes they don't know where to go or what to do if they're walking out of the Sea Org. They don't have anything.
Yep.
And I know that a lot gets talked about for escape, but there's another aspect too, where Scientology will actually do what they call offloading. They have a thing called a fitness board, where if they feel somebody is either too old to do the work or not suitable for it or whatever, they've been known to take seniors and just dump them out on the sidewalk in front of a senior building, or just to put people out on the street with a few $100s, and they hope for the best. So if the billboards are up there for those people also who aren't necessarily considered escaping, but being kind of booted out for whatever reason, because Scientology just doesn't have any use for them anymore, and they're just being discarded, these billboards can be of help to them as well. So
Yeah.
when I talk about a fitness board, that's like a little. It's kind of uh, like a kangaroo court, almost like the
Completely.
ComEvs, where they've already decided they want to get rid of the person, but they want to make it seem official. So they'll go through this whole fitness board, and the result is always going to be the same. If they want to get rid of the person, that person's going, no matter what's said.
Yeah.
So the billboards are there for those people as well, and for public. If
Yeah.
somebody is getting out of Scientology and they lose their family, their friends, their business, and they're out on the street, um, then they'll have a phone number that they can contact for help.
Yeah, for sure. And also too, it's important to family who have,
Yeah.
loved ones in the Sea organization. Even for them, it's an important message to know that there are resources. We are working with a number of families actively who have loved ones in the Sea organization who have expressed, oh, well, I want to leave, but I'm not sure what I would do. And that's where many of the programs that we offer are really, really crucial to help the family navigate situations like that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one last comment on the pushback from Scientology.
Hmm.
We encountered that heavily as well back in the 2016 when we were doing the Call Me billboards, but they're pushing back on this billboard campaign as well. And we've heard specifically from some property owners that have billboards on them where Scientology is harassing them to a point where um, it, some of them may not want the billboard on there anymore. But my experience from the past, whenever Scientology pushed back, this is how the billboard campaign came about in the very first place back in 2016. We were doing uh, flyers on lampposts, and they pushed back so hard. I said, "Well, we're coming back bigger," and that's what launched the billboard campaign. So when they push back and they try to shut us down, we double down. It's
Yeah.
we're gonna so this is going to go more.
Yeah, for
That was
sure.
my comment.
Absolutely. And here, I'm
More.
going to pull up the next slide because this is something
Yeah.
people have asked about. So 1 month after our billboards launched, which was April, right, Phil? Do I have that right?
Yes.
Yeah. We saw 153% increase in website traffic, a significant increase in emails, contact, and volunteer email, 200% increase in helpline calls. And so, for anyone that doesn't know, just to outline the crisis line and how that works, we did extensive research to find a really good company to work with on this because we wanted to establish a way that no matter when somebody called 24/7, they would be able to reach a person. And then we established a very specific script to immediately find out from the person, are you safe? Are you able to speak? And then put them in touch with one of there's a number of people that assist with the crisis line, but the people that assist are all former Scientologists who are very, very knowledgeable in not only the language of Scientology, which is important to somebody in that stage just coming out, but also in familiar with the steps that someone goes through in getting out. And so I say all of that because, of course, there are call line programs that are primarily oriented around retail. And so we worked really hard to find one that was not like that. In fact, the company that we work with, one of their primary programs is whistleblower type reporting platforms and phone lines and all of that kind of stuff. An amazing company based in the US. They watched the documentary that we did on Serge Obolensky, and they are just very deeply committed to the work that the foundation does. So again, this has been a really great program, and I'm, without giving any details, I will tell you that the most recent call was on Wednesday from someone who had been in Scientology over 10 years, saw the billboard, and is now out. So it's working.
That is so huge.
Yeah.
That is so I mean that's the one thing I've been really impressed about when having come on. I know that a lot, most people want to stay kind of uh out of the mix having gotten out, but I was really impressed at how many people the aftermath has been helping. Very impressed by that. So just last Wednesday, somebody getting out because of one of the billboards, that is huge, and
Completely.
it's really refreshing
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, it takes courage, especially when you're in Scientology and so afraid of them. And this person was crying and desperately needed help, and to have that opportunity to be able to let them know they're safe and that we can help is just huge. And I'm so grateful to the many people who have donated in support of our work and the many people who have volunteered to help. Truly, this work would not be possible without that support. So thank you so much to everyone who has ever supported the Aftermath Foundation and the work that we do.
Yes,
So
definitely. And a reminder to subscribe. If you're not
yes,
subscribed, please subscribe. We're trying to build the subscription level up. So, and if there's anyone that might not be listening now, pass along the link.
yes.
Let them know.
Yeah, and to cover the kind of the strategy there, of course, it makes the most sense for us to talk about the stories of the people that we help and the programs that we do on this channel, which is where Phil very graciously agreed to help me with this series. And YouTube has a wonderful feature where when any channel reaches 10,000 subscribers, you can then do a fundraiser to support a validated nonprofit through their program. And what that means is that generally on a YouTube channel, if someone does a super chat or whatever, YouTube takes 30% of that. Well, when you actually do a fundraiser, they cover all the fees. So literally every dollar goes directly to the nonprofit. And the other great thing is that any channel can then support that fundraiser. So it's just a wonderful feature that makes it very easy to talk about the work that we do and offer people a way to support the work if they choose to do so. And so let's see here, moving along. Our next topic here, let me pull back up, go to the next slide. All right. So in July, we launched finally an online support group. We had announced last year that we had an in-person group, and this was a continuation of that program. So now that we've had 2 meetings, we haven't announced it on social media as yet. This is, of course, the first time we're talking about this, primarily because switching to the online platform, we wanted to allow ourselves room to iron out any road bumps, you figure out the technical, how it's all going to work and so forth. And this past meeting was full. So that's amazing. I'm going to read a description of the group just for anyone interested to hear. Let's see. Oh. Okay, let me pull that up. Anyway, it is facilitated by Rachel Bernstein. Here, let me go to the next slide here. It's hosted by Rachel Bernstein. You can learn more about Rachel and her extensive work in cult recovery at her website, Rachel Bernstein Therapy. She has decades of experience helping people recover from Scientology, but also cults. And I know that is oftentimes can feel very daunting to people, not only because it's, therapy and that's illegal in Scientology, but also because the language of Scientology is so very isolating that it can feel just very challenging to even know, like, is this person going to have any idea what I'm talking about and so forth. So,
Rachel's
yeah.
very knowledgeable in this area. She actually came out to see us when we were doing the billboards back in 2016, and then she couple of years ago had me on her podcast.
Oh, nice.
She knows the subject, so I can understand why it's been so popular already with
Yeah.
her support group. And
Yes.
I think that for people who need that kind of thing, it's a great uh, uh, thing to help out people who might want to get in on it.
For sure. And the description of the group is here. I found it here. This support group is expressly for those who were in Scientology. As such, it will be run with particular awareness that the participants are most likely healing from having been coerced by someone in a position of authority, shamed for not conforming to the way of thinking within a group, kept from being able to honor and address their feelings, and treated harshly by those around them. This group will be run sensitively. The tone set by the facilitator will be respectful, caring, and thoughtful, and the facilitator's role will include offering support, education, insights, and making sure participants get to share their thoughts safely without interruption or argument. The goal is to cultivate a space where people can speak freely about their experiences, can receive and offer support to others who have had similar experiences, and can learn about their past, how it affected them and is still affecting them now, in order to better understand the impact it's had and then be able to more successfully move forward in their lives. And so for anyone tuning in, if this is of interest, if you're a former Scientologist, absolutely reach out to us. The email here, contact@theaftermathfoundation.org, is the way to do that. There's a very simple intake form. And as I said, the group meets every 2 weeks via Zoom. So we're super excited that this program has been just taking off even without any announcements, just reaching out to various people that had requested peer support or, anyway, it's very exciting. And I'm super grateful to Rachel for taking this on.
Yeah. So caring and thoughtful, kind of like the opposite of Scientology.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The end phenomena of Scientology is leaving Scientology, and we're here to help.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Yes. All right. Let's see here. Okay. On to our next great announcement. 2025 is the foundation's 3rd year in the combined federal campaign. And so I will give a recap of this because, anyway, the history of this is that someone that we helped escape, her very dear friend told us, hey, you should look into applying to this program. And what the combined federal campaign is, it's one of the most rigorously screened workplace giving programs in the US. And essentially, we go through a very thorough application process, including obviously providing extensive documentation on our financials and good standing and everything else. And once you're approved, you are allowed to participate in this program, which is for current and retired federal employees all over the US. So not only does this enable federal and current and retired employees to donate to the Aftermath Foundation, but also it gives us the opportunity to make presentations to multiple federal agencies, which is, in my mind, equally as important as the donation piece. So, for example, we have done presentations to Veteran Affairs, Department of Homeland Security, and multiple other governmental agencies on the work that the Michael J. Rinder Aftermath Foundation does, which is just an amazing opportunity to educate those people that should know about the dangers of Scientology. So this is our 3rd year. Yay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's exciting. It's a really, really good program and a really great opportunity.
Yeah, it's nice to see the foundation having a good foundation. And,
yes. Yes. For sure. I know. Absolutely. Okay. And we figured, let's see how we're doing on time here. Yeah, what we will do, just to reorient here, I'm going to cover this most recent testimonial we received. But before I do that, I mentioned in the chat, we will be doing a giveaway today. Again, we're looking to build and welcome a community and an audience to this channel. So if you just comment #Aftermath, towards the end here, you will be automatically entered to win a giveaway, which is the Leah Remini bobblehead. Yes. So again, just comment #Aftermath, and we will do that at the end here. All right, here we have one of our most recent testimonials. I was born into a cult. I didn't get to choose it, and I didn't know there was another way to live until much later. Leaving cost me everything: my community, my sense of reality, my safety. Starting over with no support system was terrifying. For a long time, I felt completely alone. The foundation helped change that. Because of the Aftermath Foundation's support, I have a safe place to live. I'm going to school, something I never thought would be possible for me. And I finally have space to heal. It's more than just money. It's someone saying, you deserve a future. That means more than I can explain. I'm still figuring things out, but for the first time, I get to imagine a life that's mine. So, yeah, for sure. And I would like to mention too that this person was a recipient of we have an annual education grant that is described on the foundation website. And the whole purpose of that is to offer help and support in the form of education, because very often, especially if you were born into Scientology like me, education is just poo-pooed and many times not even offered. So Mark and I, because we both grew up in Scientology, never even had the opportunity to go to high school. One time, Mark was joking around, as he likes to do, and mentioned that we were high school dropouts. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. Why are you calling me that? I never even went to high school. So
wow, yeah.
I did though get my GED last year.
Great. Yeah.
Was it last year? Yes, last year, 2 weeks before my son graduated high school. So
oh, that's
yes,
great. I saw that you had done that. That's very well done. That's
thank
actually
you.
impressive to do. When I got into Scientology, I was, I think, 16 years old. The first thing they took from me was my college fund. So, yeah.
See,
I
so
know.
yeah.
I had my best friend in high school. He was going to film school. I was going to go to film school. I went. He ended up with a career in film,
Wow.
and I ended up in Scientology.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
know.
the way. That's the way it is.
Yeah, for sure. I know.
They're not big on public education at
They
all.
are not. In fact, they're very much against it, and
Yeah.
they would much prefer young people sign a billion-year contract than get a high school or even college education. And my personal opinion on that, rightly or wrongly, is that I think the resilience of children is unbelievable. And primarily, I'm saying this from my own experiences, but also when I became a mother, it really woke me up on the abusive childhood I had lived through. But education plays such an important role in that transition from child to adulthood, and helps you gain your own perspective and your own thoughts, and helps provide perspective on your life experiences to then mold and help you grow into the person you're going to become. And so I think that it's very intentional that they undermine education so fiercely.
They do. I mean, our kids went to a Scientology-based school, and they were in it for some years before I realized that not one of them, not one of the students that I ever saw in those years ever graduated high school. They
Yeah.
all ended up either going off. Some of them ended up in public school, a few of them, not many. A lot of them ended up in the Sea Organization because they just didn't have the skills for life,
Right.
and they didn't know what to do after that. So, and same with my kids. Our kids just ended up in the Sea Org. So, uh, you know, the whole Scientology-based schools is just not it just doesn't work.
No.
It's not workable for
No,
life.
and many times they're not accredited. They're not,
No.
I mean, most of the Scientology schools were founded by Guardian Office staff, which is the earlier iteration of the Office of Special Affairs. Like, shows what importance Scientology places on the education of children. you know?
And almost every teacher, well, they call them supervisors,
Yeah,
in those schools, most of them have not even finished high school themselves.
exactly. Yeah,
They're uneducated
yeah,
as well. So they don't know how they're going to know what's right and wrong as
yeah,
far as, you know, here's the math question. Yeah, go ahead. Your needle's floating on the meter, so it must be correct.
yeah. I know, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's ironic because you'd think that they would be all for education and, getting well-trained people, but it's exactly the opposite. They
yeah,
just want they want people who have literally been programmed and indoctrinated in Scientology belief from birth. That's kind of their ideal candidate, which is why they so rigorously go after recruiting young people.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Shall we do a giveaway and then do some comments?
Sure. A
Okay.
giveaway is always fun.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we'll give it a few minutes for anyone who's just joining us. Remember to comment #Aftermath. We'll give it a few minutes here, and then I will go ahead and we'll pull up the giveaway screen. Bear with me. The last time I tried this, full disclosure, I boofed it, but I'm planning
Uh-oh.
not to do that for today. All right. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Here we go. Let's see here. We'll do this and we'll do this. Okay. Here we go. Just tell me if you see it going. It should be going.
Yep. Yep.
Perfect.
It's going.
All right. Oh, I saw Mark in the Becky. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Uh,
Becky, Big Brother fan.
Perfect. So Becky, shoot me an email. Please send it to claire@theaftermathfoundation.org and with your address, and I will send you the Leah Remini bobblehead from the SP shop. Thanks to Mark for being in the chat. Hey, honey. Anyway, awesome. All righty then. Shall we? Let's see. Let me just take a look
Well,
here.
if Mark would have won, the shipping would have been easy.
Right? I'll be like, can I count the one I put on your shelf down in the studio?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, here, let's do a few questions here. So just a
Okay.
reminder, if you have questions that you'd like Phil and I to cover in the next few minutes here as we wrap up, then please put them in the comments. Let me pull up a question here. Becky, question. If it's okay to ask, how is Serge doing? Please pass on all of our best regards from the chat. Yes, thank you so much for asking. Serge is doing great. He just enrolled in a program that is going to help him develop skills, build up resume skills and everything else, which one of our contacts that we worked with very closely in our extensive assistance to Serge helped us with. So he's super excited about that. And yeah, he's doing great. I appreciate you asking. And for anyone watching, if you haven't watched the story of Serge Obolensky, it is on this channel. Definitely give that a watch. It's an incredible story. Serge is a very brave, courageous person who has lived through so very much. And honestly, it was truly our honor to be able to help him. All right, let's see here. Okay. Comment from Gretchen. I've been sober and in recovery support groups for 30 years. It's an incredibly important aspect of recovery, human connection with people we identify with. 100%. I absolutely agree. And I will say that, of course, primarily the Aftermath Foundation funding is prioritized and allocated to people just getting out of Scientology and getting on their feet. That being said, both the education grant and the support group were intended, and also the career counseling program too that we have, which we'll talk about in subsequent episodes, is intended to be able to offer ways to say yes, even if the person got out 10, 15 years ago. It just offers programs and support so that they know they're not alone. So that is really the intention of these programs. And so far, it's been very, very well received by everyone who's attended. So I'm super grateful for that. Anything you wanted to add, Phil?
No, it's nice to see that all the different help lines are expanding as well, and we're strengthening them all. So, uh, what for the most part, what people do need to kind of get on their feet, like you say, whether they're just getting out or a little bit down the road, there are definitely some good programs that we've got going now.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, you and I will
Course.
outline multiple
Yeah.
deep dives into those different programs
Yeah.
and case studies and testimonials and so forth. That's our goal in doing this series. As I mentioned, it's just to talk about news and updates for anyone interested in supporting the work of the foundation. This is an easy way to do it, and it's a way that we can share what we're doing without endangering the people we're helping. Yeah. Oh, and also too, I should mention, let me put this back here. Hold on. Not that one. There we go. All of our grantees remain anonymous unless they choose to speak out. We covered that. We encourage people to watch some of the stories we put out last year on our YouTube channel at the Aftermath Foundation. So yes, we do have a number of individual stories. We will absolutely be posting more. For example, yeah, anyway, we'll be uploading a lot more content on this channel. So please check it out. Okay, so talking of volunteers, did you know as of right now, we have 1,978 volunteers in 31 countries around the world. So again, thank you so very much to everyone who has volunteered for the work that we do. Phil and I will be brainstorming on best ways to activate our volunteer network. Obviously, we've made some individual requests, but Phil has some really good ideas about multiple ways we can just create opportunities that would really be valuable. Did you want
Yeah.
to add anything on that, Phil?
Well, we started to activate a few volunteers, which is nice, but it would be nice to get some broader programs in. The support is phenomenal. I mean, to have almost 2,000 volunteers willing to help on this endeavor, that's pretty huge, and very appreciated.
Yeah.
It is a big job. I mean, if you look at, there's somewhere between 20 and 30,000 Scientologists left in the world active, and then there's also probably thousands that have gotten out but are still struggling. So it's a big job, and it's going to get bigger because as more and more people leave Scientology, it is shrinking. Scientology, the numbers, the people anyway, I know they put new buildings up all the time, but the numbers are shrinking. So
Yeah.
the job is going to get bigger, and the volunteers are definitely going to be a valuable resource for us.
For sure. Absolutely. So yes, if you volunteered, be watching for email correspondence and so forth. We will absolutely make sure that we would like to just get to where we are actively communicating, offering opportunities and so forth. So again, thank you so very much to everyone who has already signed up as a volunteer. And if you would like to sign up, there's a form on our website that you can fill out. I know Clara has linked to that in the chat, and I'll of course put it in the video description. So yes, it's a very just amazing to see how many people support this work, and very, very encouraging. So
Yes.
and let's see. Oh yeah, we covered that. Again, go to michaeljrinderaftermathfoundation.org/volunteer. And follow for more. Follow us on our social media to stay up to date. Also on our website, you can sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter we put out earlier this year is linked there, and we will be putting out a new newsletter, hopefully sometime in the next couple of months. So yes, all
So
exciting work.
if you have a channel on YouTube or a Instagram, or a following somewhere in social media, please share the link to this video and encourage people to subscribe, because the more subscribers we have, the more support we can gather to help more people. And we do want to help more people that are getting out of Scientology, and those that do get out, we want to be able to offer them more programs, more things that we, that just help them establish themselves. Scientology has taken so much. We want to try to give it back somehow.
Yeah, for sure. And the other great thing that we learned recently, actually from Chris Shelton, who is also works with the foundation. Thank you, Chris, for all that you do, and Clara and Catherine. And we have an amazing team, and it's only growing by the day. But I learned, Chris shared a story that the algorithm of YouTube works in such a way that if a Scientologist is watching YouTube and watching an authorized video, when that authorized video concludes, YouTube says, "Oh, well, you might like this video," and pops over to Chris Shelton or Blown for Good or whatever, Anyway, it's it's
Awesome.
comical, actually.
I wonder who wrote that algorithm. Some guy
Right.
sitting there just,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
let's
like,
do
oh,
this.
Billy Bob wants to know more about
Yep.
Scientology, so he
Yep.
watched The Way to Happiness. So here,
Yep.
let's anyway, it's awesome. Cool. All right, let me check for any last questions here that we should cover. Oh, here, speaking of which, Chris Shelton, hey, late arrival as the show is wrapping up, but so happy to see this show happening. Yes, thanks, Chris, and thanks for being here. Yes, we will be definitely covering lots of topics, lots of news, lots of exciting things happening. And yeah, so to learn more, go to theaftermathfoundation.org. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to hear more about our work, hit the notification bell. Anything else I should cover, Phil, for today?
I think we've covered what we wanted to initially go over in the first episode. And, please subscribe, everybody, because we have a lot of great stuff coming up on what we're looking to do expansion-wise and the programs we've got in place that we want to strengthen. Definitely keep an eye on the channel. We'll be coming on regularly.
Yes, and as a recap for anyone who is just arriving, this is the first episode of the Foundation feed covering the work and programs at the Michael J. Rinder Aftermath Foundation. Phil, welcome to your role as Executive Director. I'm just so happy to have you on board. And like I said, we're only going to keep gaining momentum with you on the team. So I'm just super grateful.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Claire.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Thank you again to everyone who joined us. We will see you on the next one. Bye.
Right. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Please help us to get to 10,000 subscribers.
And don't forget to push the notification bell to be alerted when new content is available.
For more information about how you can apply for help
or to become a volunteer,
visit us at theaftermathfoundation.org.
Thank you for watching.